Hi, it's been a little while. A lot has been going on, and to be honest, I wasn't really sure if I was going to make this video. How does it feel to be trans in the United States right now? It's a hard question to answer, but I've had a long time to think about it, so here's mine. It feels a little bit scary, and my first instinct was to be frightened and to run away. If you think this is a crazy response, and I'm exaggerating, I'll link some of the stories below of the things that made me consider leaving this country. It definitely feels like I've been abandoned, like the only thing protecting me is the flag, and those who still stand by it. In my fear of what if my channel is considered less than legal, or what if my access to hormones is taken away, within that I got a little bit scared, like I said. And for a while, I just thought I'd run away and maybe never make YouTube videos again, or if I did, I'd never talk about being trans again, and I'd try to go stealth, not tell anyone I was trans. I told my friends I was going to leave the country, and I hurried up and got my passport, and I even told my boss I was leaving. But then I actually saw the Superman movie, and there's a scene in there, you'll know the one that made me cry, and made me realize that it wasn't worth running away before anything had started, and I decided not to run away. I decided to stay and accept, cherish, and propel forward a message of hope. I have privileges that a lot of people don't have, even though I'm a trans Latina woman. I have this platform, I have an ability to talk to a camera, and I have all of you. And I decided that running away before anything happened was a betrayal to myself and my community. Oftentimes we ask the most vulnerable to be the most vocal, and I don't see myself as Sylvia Rivera, the activist. But I think it would dishonor her memory if I ran away immediately before things got really bad. And yes, things have gotten really bad, and there are trans people who have left this country seeking asylum. But I'm in California, and I have the ability to speak out and keep being myself, because that itself is resistance. Running away eventually didn't become an option, and I want to stay so I can talk to you guys and I can keep sharing what it means to be trans in America right now. And right now it's scary, but I didn't want to make choices from a place of fear. I wanted to make choices from a place of happiness and joy. And there's not a lot of that for trans people right now, but maybe I can cultivate some. There aren't a lot of trans people that look like me on YouTube. And I think it's important to keep being myself on this platform and keep sharing resources in my life. So I'm staying for the trans people in my comment section who leave me nice comments, because I believe that they don't necessarily have a voice, and if I can be a voice even for one of them, then it's worth it. And I'm ready to leave. I've got my passport. I have a video about that coming out next. But in the meantime, I want to stay and be a voice for those people, because I have a camera and I live in California and I can still hit upload, and that's worth something. At the same time, in analyzing and thinking about the hatred against my community, the hatred against immigrants, the hatred against anyone who is against the status quo of the current administration, I found that what we're fighting is laws that take away our rights, but also a huge propaganda machine that is telling the world that who I am is somehow wrong. There have been some very hateful words in the executive orders and in lawsuits against me. There's been hateful words in the rhetoric against me. And I stopped and thought about how a lot of people who aren't trans, but who don't like trans people, found out about trans people through a government who has a monetary gain in hating us. As long as people hate us and immigrants and anyone against the establishment, but especially trans people, that's what I'm going to be talking about. As long as people focus their hatred on trans people, then all the other shortcomings of the current administration can be blown away, because they're somehow protecting you from this boogeyman. If you get your perspective on trans people from politicians or mainstream news, even certain Democratic politicians, I can almost see how people would hate me because they get this skewed, fucked up version of what it means to be a trans person. The worst possible version is what they share, and that is the loudest spokesperson for trans people. Where you get your information really informs your worldview. And I'm not saying I'm here to be a hero to all trans people, you know, just the ones that find benefit or comfort in hearing me. But maybe, just maybe, I can slow the tide of anti-trans propaganda, media, videos, news. Because when they show trans people in the news and on the internet, and when politicians talk about trans people, they're not talking about me. They're talking about some fucked up version of what it means to be trans. So I want to be a voice against that tide of hatred. Because I think if you actually got to know us through us and not through some news story or some alarmist fringe case or from a politician's mouth assuming the identity of a shooter, I think you would find that we, like you, are also human. And I'll speak more specifically about trans women because I'm a trans woman and the brunt of the attack is against us. Trans men aren't considered, which it's sadly not considered, but the point I'm making is that I want to speak out for trans women. Trans is an adjective. I'm a trans woman the way a tall woman is a tall woman. Her height does not take away her womanhood. A kind woman is not less of a woman for being kind. Me being a trans woman doesn't take away from the fact that I am a strong woman, a smart woman, a caring woman, a loving woman, a woman who wants to be loved and respected like all people. The sun is setting. I've been putting off being on the internet, and I was really worried about it. But I think a lot of people are worried about it, and I think that sharing it might help some of those people. So for all of you who are trans and are afraid, we're together. We're still watching each other's backs, and you're not alone. I want to end with a quote from one of my favorite books, Dreadnought by April Daniels. I'm going to be paraphrasing, but I think this captures the sentiment of what I'm feeling and what I feel is best for us as a community, which is hope and strength and a reminder that no matter how much of an onslaught comes against us, this is just one country, this is just one government, and we are stronger than that. I see a world terrified of me, terrified of someone who would reject masculinity, terrified of a woman who knows who she is and what she wants. They are small and they are weak and they cannot hurt me anymore. My name is Maya Pimentel and I am a woman. And no one is strong enough to take that away from me.